Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along to the wilds of Suffolk. I'm out here. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Suffolk in the UK. It is beautiful. I hope it is as wonderful where you are. Welcome along. If it's your first time here, this is what I do. I walk along in beautiful locations such as this and speak my mind. I give my thoughts and opinions on things that are happening in the world at the moment in the public consciousness. And yeah, that's what I do. If you're a returning subscriber, or 739 of you I think there are today, welcome back. Thank you very much for being here, one and all. It's an honor and a privilege to be to have so many people along for the journey, so really thank you very much. So today I'll start off and just say I've been exceedingly busy lately. I work as a chef, obviously, as I've said before. It's my job, it's not who I am. And with everything that's going on right now, there is a shortage of staff everywhere. So I've had to bear the brunt of that, and I'm working ridiculous hours. And also I had to take a little bit of a break because, you know, feeding on this much negativity and all the negative stuff I have to look at to produce these videos, sometimes I have to take a break from it and yeah, have a little bit of time off, because it does get overwhelming at times. And yeah, I needed a little bit of time. So I'm back. Here's another video. So today, this video took me a couple of days to sort of think about how I was going to present it, because this information makes me angry. I don't want to be angry because it just doesn't present well in a video, obviously. I don't want to be swearing and cursing. This kind of information makes me want to swear and curse all the time. But it's really important that we understand what's going on here with this information I'm going to present today. And there's been so much going on this week that I thought I'd best do a video just to comment on it, just to make sure that we're up to speed. Okay, so I'm titling this video, Who Runs the World? Or what runs the world, really? What runs the world? What does the world run on? Now, anybody who just guessed energy, bingo, bing, 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 you're correct. Energy is what the world runs on. Now, it is where we get that energy and how we produce that energy and what we do with it that is essential to what we're going to talk about today, okay? Now, we're told that it's the expenditure of energy that gives something its value. Well, that's what we're told by people like Anthony Pompliano, Pomp as he likes to call himself. And that's what he says, Bitcoin is expensive because it takes so much energy to produce it, okay? And gold, we've been told, is expensive because it takes a lot of energy to dig it out of the ground. Okay, okay. So let's dig into this a little bit deeper, and then we're going to find out where it all leads to. Okay. Now, energy does run the world. It does. At the moment, that's what the world runs on. It runs on fuel. Let's start there. Oil. Let's start with oil. Okay. Now, we're told that oil is in short supply. We're going to run out. Well, we've been told we've been going to run out since the 70s, I believe, and we're in danger. And danger, Will Robinson, is always another crisis that we have to avert, of course, and drastic measures have to be taken, as we're being told right now with the climate crisis. But the climate crisis is because we've used oil, apparently. Okay. Now, we've been told along the way that, oh, by the way, I will apologise for the wind. Today it is a bit windy. I couldn't find a better place to do this. So please, if it's too loud, I do apologise, but I am trying to find a way that I can navigate around it so it's not going to be too loud. So I apologise if there is too much wind noise. Now, oil. Now, the really big oil market, the petrodollar is what we call the American dollar now. As of the 14th of August 1971, when the American dollar, we've been through this before, I'm sure, but I'll just touch on it. The American dollar was taken off the gold standard, which meant that the American dollar was backed by gold, which meant they could only print so much of it based on how much gold they had in their stores in Fort Knox or wherever it is. So Richard Nixon took the American dollar off the gold standard on the 14th of August 1971. So it was backed by nothing, essentially. But at the same time, that sneaky little Henry Kissinger, that guy, one of the elite, one of the Illuminati, one of the special people who, you know, special privileges for him, went to Saudi Arabia and negotiated a deal to make sure that all oil sales would be made in American dollars. So rather than the American dollar being backed by gold, it was now backed by oil. And we're told oil's in short supply. There's only so much of it. But is that true? Is it really true? What gives oil its value? Now, if you don't know, there's a group called OPEC, which is the oil producing nations of the world. And they decide what the price of oil is going to be. Now, we're told, oh no, that's decided by the stock market and what people want to pay for it. Well, I don't know whether that's true, because if the OPEC, these oil producing nations, get to decide the price by how much oil they're going to pump out of the ground. Okay? There is no short supply. They're finding the oil deposits all over the world all the time, including in Namibia. Namibia, I think it is. There's just massive new oil fields that have been found there. Everywhere around the world there's oil. There's no short supply, of course, but we're told there is. And the oil producing nations, OPEC, decide on the price based on how much oil they're going to pump out of the ground. Okay? So the stock market doesn't depend on the stock market doesn't decide the oil price. Good afternoon. How are we doing? All right. So that's one thing. So the OPEC decides the oil price. It's got nothing to do with a shortage of oil. It has everything to do with how much money they want to make at a time. So yes, is the price of things in energy for oil, is that a realistic thing? Absolutely not. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So we've been told recently we have to move to nuclear energy because it's so cheap and it's renewable. Okay, let's go to nuclear energy. Let's have a bit of a chat about nuclear energy. Okay, uranium mining is subsidised by every government where uranium is being mined, including Australia. Uranium mining is subsidised by the government, which means it's cheaper to pull out of the ground. Okay? Now, everyone says to me, oh, but Chris, you just don't understand nuclear power. I'm like, okay, explain it to me. It's a steam engine. It is a steam engine. So you use nuclear fuel rods in heavy water, which is, you'll have to excuse my pronunciation, deuterium. Look it up. Rich water. It's deuterium, or however you pronounce the word. I do apologise. Is naturally occurring in water in 4 parts per million, I think. But they make it more with more of that element in it to make the nuclear reaction better within a nuclear reactor. Okay. So. Then in the nuclear reactor, they basically boil the water to produce steam. That steam then turns a turbine, which generates electricity. So a turbine, if you don't know how turbines work, basically it's a magnet spinning inside copper wire. It doesn't produce electricity, it manifests electricity from the ether. Okay. How do I know this? Well, I read, obviously, but I've been told I don't know how to. So I do apologise for those people who think I can't read, but I can. So nuclear power, it is heavily subsidised by the governments who pay for it to be mined out of the ground. So it's not cheap. And it is a steam engine, so it's not new technology. Oh, but Chris, what about the molten salt version? Okay. Still the same thing. It's still a steam engine. So it's not a new technology, it's heavily subsidised, and at the end of it all, you've got a bunch of nuclear waste you have to deal with that doesn't go away for a long, long time, 1,000 years, and you've got to deal with that, put it somewhere. So is it the better option? Of course it's not. Then we talk about, oh, but Chris, here in the UK, we're producing 100% of our electricity from wind and solar. Now, I don't know whether you've ever been to the UK. Today is a unique, wonderful day. Don't get me wrong, the weather is absolutely gorgeous here, beautiful. But quite often it's not like this. You don't have much sunshine, and yeah, sometimes you get some wind, but not always. So if you're relying on solar and wind energy, then what happens if there's no sun and there's no wind? Okay. Also, To produce wind turbines, it takes a vast amount of digging minerals out of the ground to produce them. The blades break all the time. They can't use them for anything else. They're non-recyclable, so they just sit there and rot. And yeah, it costs a fortune to put them in, and it doesn't pay for itself, ever. Okay. So nuclear's a steam engine. Wind and solar, yeah, okay. So we've got oil that's been ruled out because that's dirty and polluting, of course. Not that, nuclear has to be dug out of the ground by what? Diesel trucks, okay? Then it's processed by machinery that produces, the electricity is produced by usually burning coal. Okay, so we've been told coal is no good. Coal-fired power stations, and they've closed down a bunch of coal mines here in the UK and around the world. Coal is no good because it's a dirty energy. Dirty, right? So we've heard that argument before. Dirty energy, that's no good, can't use that. And I've suggested, why don't we use carbon capture? So we're capturing the pollutants that come from producing that electricity using coal or other fuels like rubbish. Afternoon, strolling through the forest talking to myself. Oh, that's okay, don't worry, it's fine. Have a good day. So yeah, we've been told coal's no good, but I've suggested carbon capture. Why don't we use carbon capture or pollutant capture? Because we can do that. That's no good, Chris. Yeah, there's some countries in the world that burn their rubbish to produce electricity. Yeah, so they don't have stacks and stacks of rubbish lying around just rotting for no good reason. And then they capture the pollutants. Why can't we do that? No, we can't do that, Chris. We need to... Then the solar. Most of the solar panels in the world are produced where? In China. In China. So China produces them and then they ship them all over the world for other people to use. Do China use them? Why is that? So this whole debate about energy running the world, yes, it does. Where does the energy get produced? Who's producing it? Who's paying for it? How does it get paid for? Afternoon, how are we doing? Afternoon. So we have a situation where we're told that the energy that we're producing now is all dirty. We can't use it because it's bad for us. It's creating a climate crisis. But who controls all this information that we're getting? The media? Yeah. Science, because science tells us. But science isn't corrupted at all. There's not a lot of money in science. Just like, I won't even mention his name, but the little guy, Dr. Fauci? Yeah, Fauci, that's the one, yeah. He's like the science god. He said, I am science. It's like Judge Dredd, I am the law. I am science. Wow. Okay. Well, if he's science, I mean, it says everything you need to know because, all the information that's coming out about him torturing puppies and monkeys and stuff, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Wait until we get into the real meat and potatoes of that subject. But energy runs the world. So we're told that the cost of everything is based on the energy that it takes to produce it. But is there really any truth to that? Let me put it a different way. Now, let's just say, for instance, that we were to get our energy for free. Energy costs nothing, okay? Would the price of everything be nothing? Well, what do you think? Yeah, obviously we're moving to a more automated world where robots can build things that, faster and cheaper than humans can because you don't have to pay for the labour. So what will things cost? If there's no electricity cost, you can run your robots for free. What would things cost? Just the material cost. But the material cost, would that go down if the energy was free? If you had electric trucks, for instance, that were digging things out of the ground, what would things cost? Would it all be free? Now, let's take this in a different direction because that's what I do. Let's go back to Bitcoin for a moment, okay? Now, Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, digital asset, whatever you want to call it. And the price of Bitcoin has gone exponential. It's, it's $60,000 a coin, okay? But what makes it Bitcoin worth $60,000 a coin? We're told because it takes so much money to process the transactions on the network that that's what gives it its value. Not that it's use case or anything, because there's only 7 transactions a second can happen on the Bitcoin blockchain, so kind of makes it useless as a payment option for the world, even though that was what it was designed for. We were told by in the white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that is. CIA. Oh, sorry, must be the Rona. Now, this mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto that owns 1 million Bitcoin in a wallet created this thing that processes transactions. Now, look, let's say the mathematical genius behind Bitcoin and the blockchain was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But as per most things, the first generation of any technology is far inferior to current technologies. So Bitcoin uses a vast amount of electricity. Now I'm told, oh, but Chris, you can produce that electricity using hydro or nuclear, so it's almost free. I'm like, okay, but isn't it still very wasteful? Doesn't matter how much how much energy it produces, it's still wasteful. Even if you're getting that electricity for free, isn't it wasteful? We've got people in the world that haven't got electricity, but yet it's wasteful to use that much electricity to confirm transactions on a blockchain. There's better ways to do it. So why would they design a system, a technology that uses so much electricity? Who would do that? We're told, well, because it needs to use so much electricity because that's what gives it value. It's a snake eating its own tail. What's that called? An Ouroboros, I think, something like that. I don't know, but something like that. A snake eating its own tail. It's a circular argument where, it takes a lot of electricity because that's what gives it its value, not its utility or anything. So who would design a system? Who would design a system that for a world currency, as it was supposed to be used for, to get around the banks and the financial institutions? Bullshit. Who would design something like that? So remember, the American dollar is a world reserve currency that a lot of countries don't like, and they shouldn't, because it's not fair. But that was how it was set up many years ago. So who would design a system like that? What would it be? A nation state, perhaps? Maybe like China? In conjunction with who, maybe? Maybe the CIA? Because the CIA is hell-bent on destroying America? Oh no, Chris, that's just conspiracy theory. Okay, of course it is. Now, I want you to understand this argument, okay? I'm not trying to be argumentative to say Bitcoin's no good and all this kind of stuff. I'm raising an argument because no one knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. But yet this person designed a system that used vast amounts of electricity. It's only going to use more. And regardless of whether electricity is free or not, there's still a system that uses all this energy to confirm transactions when there's other ways to do it. Now, we also have another system, another blockchain called Ethereum, which is a smart contracts platform, okay, which uses the same confirmation of the transactions by using vast amounts of electricity, okay, vast amounts. Now, funnily enough, strangely enough, those two, Ethereum and Bitcoin, are the only two blockchains that have been given clarity, well, supposedly, by the SEC to say they're not securities. So they're the only two blockchains that use vast amounts of electricity, by the way, to confirm transactions. When you have things like Cardano that doesn't, it's a proof of stake method model, that doesn't use vast amounts of electricity to confirm transactions, or XRP, for instance. There's many consensus models of confirming transactions that don't use vast amounts of electricity. So why is it, do you think, that Ethereum and Bitcoin are the two that have been given clarity by the SEC? Okay, now let's take it a step further. Okay, we have Wall Street and Gary Gensler, that little weasel, has just approved a Bitcoin futures ETF. So that means that Wall Street controls Bitcoin. Who do you think owns the vast majority of Bitcoin? You know, I'm going to hear all the Bitcoin maxis and the people in crypto say, oh, but Chris, you don't know what you're talking about. Bitcoin is owned by the wealthiest people in the world. And Ethereum. And Ethereum was bought during its ICO launch. and ICO that should make Ethereum a security. But it doesn't for some strange reason. Now you've got better technologies, faster technologies, you know, better consensus model of confirming transactions than both Bitcoin and Ethereum. One of those is XRP. That has now got an SEC lawsuit against it to hold it up. And it seems strange to me that right now, as you know, XRP is being held up by the SEC with their ridiculous lawsuit with no grounds and no basis whatsoever, that Ethereum is trying to build Ethereum 2.0, which takes it from a to a proof of stake method of confirming transactions, which means it won't use so much electricity. But yet they're still pausing and still delaying and stretching out the XRP lawsuit while they build out the Ethereum 2.0 blockchain. It's been going on for years, by the way. Years and years and years. Who do you think owns all the Bitcoin and Ethereum? Do you think they're financially incentivized to stop other blockchains that are far superior from, you know, being used? Now, there's lots of talk about this new billionaires tax. So we're only going to tax the billionaires and the millionaires and the wealthy people who don't pay their share, okay? And everyone's up in, well, yes, it's a wonderful idea. It's great. Janet Yellen, that lunatic, has come out and said that we need to have a tax on unrealized gains. So if you hold stock or you hold crypto and it's now worth 10 million, you haven't sold any, you have to pay tax on the 10 million. Where are you going to get the money to pay the tax on the 10 million? They want you to sell it. And your silver and gold and wherever else you own, you have to pay tax on everything that you own that you haven't sold yet. Okay, those scum, absolute filth. Janet Yellen, all of them. And it's not just Janet Yellen, it's here in the UK, they're everywhere all over the world. These people are scum, absolute filth. We've talked about central banking, we've talked about the taxation departments wherever you are in the world. It's a fraud, it's a con, it's disgusting what's going on. And look at the inflation now, which is another hidden tax. So the value of your money is constantly going down and the price of things goes up. Are you earning more? No. But you have to pay more for things. It's a hidden tax. Who controls all this? Who controls the flow of all this energy? And then we get to who holds all the capital? Who holds onto all the stocks and everything? You got BlackRock, State Street. Now, back to the taxation thing. So Janet Yellen is proposing a wealth tax. So you're going to pay tax. Now the wealthy people are going to pay tax. Now let me explain something in simplest terms I possibly can. You pay tax on your wage, okay? Wealthy people don't earn wages. Everything they own is not owned by them. It's owned by a family trust or a foundation. That's why the Clinton Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they don't own anything in their own name. And their foundations are set up in such a way that they don't pay tax. So this wealth tax is not going for the wealthy, the billionaires and the millionaires of the world. Of course, they're not going to pay a penny. They understand the laws. They know how to get around them. They're not going to pay a penny. You and I are. Now, what's happening in the world right now is the exposure of all the criminal scum that have been running the world for a long, long time. As we learn more about it, as it bubbles to the surface and we see it more and more in the news, this is what's happening. So I get upset about it, seeing it, just seeing all these scum talking and just coming up with the most ridiculous things and telling us, oh, we're wrong, you people are the problem, we have to kill off a bunch of people because there's too many people in the world. But these are the same people that go to climate conferences on private jets. Open your eyes and see what's going on. Okay, this whole energy consumption nonsense is rubbish. Where we produce our electricity is important, and we have the technology right now that means we don't have to use all the garbage that we're using. Why are we? Because they control it. They control us. We are controlled. We are slaves to a financial system that they control. Where from? World Economic Forum. It is non-governmental organizations. If you think the governments of the world run the world, you're mistaken. It is corporations that run the world. Corporations that use things like energy, money, to make sure that you can never, ever, ever get ahead. Ever. Banking, finance, Wall Street. You know, they've been suppressing the price of gold and silver forever and a day. That's all going to come to an end soon as well. So what do we do? Honestly, what do we do? In these times where we're just getting choked and we get a stranglehold on us, you can't move. Hold the line. Diamond hands. You see these? Diamond hands. Diamond hands. You know how diamonds are formed? Under pressure. Diamonds are formed under pressure. A huge amount of pressure produces diamonds. Feel the pressure. Own it. Take it. Own it. And, believe it. It is yours. Because that is going to make you a stronger person. It's going to make you into a diamond. And diamonds are unbreakable. You are going to be the strongest thing around. You're going to be incredibly strong, incredibly tough, and able to withstand what is coming. We're looking at a huge crash across the board in every market. This isn't to scare you, this is to make you aware of what's coming. And prepare for it. Prepare for it mentally, because mentally, if you're strong enough, you can withstand anything, and you become a diamond under pressure. Okay? Have some extra food, have some extra water, all those things that you need. Have a community of people that can support each other. That's really, really important. Don't give up. Don't give in. Stand your ground. Hold the line. Don't be told. Do not comply. Because it's not the governments of the world that are running the world. They are just the puppets on the end of the string for the people like the World Economic Forum, non-governmental organizations like George Soros and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. All these scum will meet their end soon. They are all going to be taken down. Military tribunals. They are criminals. This is a criminal syndicate that has been running the world for a long time, with the three centers of the world: the Vatican, Washington, Vatican, which is the information, Washington, which is the military, the army, to make sure that people do what they're told, and the City of London, which is the money. Okay? See it for what it is. Own it. Take it. Become the diamond that you need to be to get through this. Support each other. Form a community, because that's what's going to win through this. Don't comply. Now, one last message. I have got an intro that I have had sent over to me by a wonderful gentleman from the Comic Book G-Spot channel. If you're into comics, have a look at his channel. It is not just comic books. It's awesome. Great bunch of people over there. Real philosophy kind of stuff. It's amazing. I did an interview with their channel last week, and I'll probably be appearing on there, probably once a month. Amazing guys. And he's produced the intro for my channel. It's amazing. I can't thank him enough. So thank you, G-Man. Awesome. Thank you so much. It really is. It's really appreciated. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining me for this walk. I really, really appreciate your time and your energy to come here. Go out into the world, do good, be good, and we can change the world together through our thoughts, our actions, and what we say to each other. All right, love you lots. Take care of each other. I look forward to seeing you soon. Ciao for now.